last week was your first session, and you talked about what was happening, and through the course of the lesson you noticed differences. So it's been, what, close to a week since
I saw you last?
Yeah.
Since I saw you? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so during that week, have
Yes,
you noticed anything, any changes?
I have noticed improved range of mobility.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So when you say range of mobility, is that exclusive to just your head and neck and shoulders, or are you talking about something?
Well, what happened for me last week when working with you is that I understood that the neck is not just this motion. It's from here to sort of here. And so I've just become more aware of that, and that awareness has allowed me to have greater range of motion.
Okay.
And then I've been doing exercises every day to help that, and doing
Great.
them slowly.
Good, good. So anything else that you've noticed in terms of ease, quality, those kinds of things?
It's, well, because when I came to last Friday, I still had some pain going, all the way through my right side of my body.
Right.
The car
Oh, that's
accident I was
right.
in.
Yeah, right side.
And so that has eased up. So I still have a little bit, like right now, I still have a little bit of tension in my neck here. And then I occasionally can feel it in here, and when I'm driving, I can feel it in the back of my knee, because of course I jammed on my brakes.
Right.
So I
Okay.
still feel that, but not as intensely as I did before coming to see you last Friday.
So, as you know, with this work, it's really about working with you as a system. So it's an integrated whole. It's not just one piece. And functionally, how we use ourselves, how our nervous system operates is also really important. When you're in a motor vehicle accident, first of all, you're going at a speed that's faster than walking, so you're not in control. You are in the sense that you've got the steering wheel, but the speed is propelling you along. And or I think in your case, was your car stopped and it was coming from behind?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, you are stopped, but when the car hit you from behind, you didn't really have any control over what happened. So there was a reaction. The force hit your car, it went through the car, it propelled you forward, and so it really, in a sense, put you off balance.
And it pushed me into another car.
Right. So from that standpoint, if you were standing up and I pushed you, you would go forward and you'd be able to save yourself. In this case, you're pushed forward and then you're kind of ricocheting back and forth. There's nothing except the steering wheel and the back of the seat that's stopping you. And so your nervous system kind of gets jarred. We have neurons that actually kind of map or detail where we are in space. So it's almost like we have a little map inside of our brain that says my head should be here relative to where my shoulders are, relative to where my feet are, and so on. When you're in an accident, that gets kind of jumbled up. And so it becomes important to give the brain the right information to start remapping that. And part of that is to help the brain feel the connection through the feet and the knees and the hip joints, the ankles, all that whole area, that is giving you stability. So one of the things that I would like to check on with you is just to see how stable you are.
Okay.
So if you can sit forward a little bit, that's it, and just give me your arms. Okay. Okay, can you feel how when I bring you forward, there's a resistance there? Okay, for me, that's your nervous system saying, I feel a whole lot more comfortable if I'm straight up and down, like I'm not coming forward. This was the direction of the accident, and going in this direction, your brain is on red alert. It's going, oh my God, that was what was going on when the car hit. So with that resistance, that means that there's something that your nervous system doesn't understand about balance and counterbalance, making it safe for you to go forward. Okay, so let's just see what happens here. And can you feel how when I lift your knee, your foot just sort of comes off the floor? It's okay there, that's a little bit different. Can you feel now how your heel came up first and then your toes? Okay, so let's see what that's like on this side. So your right side was the side that was the most affected by the accident. So notice how this feels when I pick up your left leg. And then notice how it feels when I pick up your right leg. Can you feel how when I pick up your right leg you're helping me? There's this side is more passive.
It actually feels heavier.
Heavier, okay. It also is helping. So
that's where the heaviness would come from.
Yeah, your left side, it's saying, oh, whatever, it's fine. But yeah, there's less trust, I would say, on the right side. Now, if we just move a little bit into the hip joint, so I'm not. Can you feel the difference? Like there, I'm really forcing it in, and it's like it's jamming in. That's not what we want. We want it just to kind of snug up to the socket. So the ball of the femur is going into the socket of the hip. There. Can you feel how that makes it so that it's a lot easier for you to let go, to trust? And there are neural connections in the hip joint, so that when you get that feeling of connection, all of a sudden the leg is much happier. So in some way there's more stability there. Okay, so now let's just go back to this. There, can you feel how that's changed? What's different?
There's a little bit of resistance at the beginning, but then it was
No, it's easier, and it's kind of like we've woken up your legs. You know, your brain is saying, oh, right, I have legs. They actually can support me. That's interesting. Okay, so what we're going to work on today is the connection between your feet, ankles, knees, hip joints, and how that can actually start making changes in the shoulders, because the more connected you are, and when I say grounded, I don't mean it in sort of an airy-fairy sense. I mean how your foot is actually connecting with the floor, how you're using the ground force in the connection between your foot and the floor to propel you forward or backward, or to be stable in standing, or whatever you have to be doing.
Okay.
And as that becomes, let's say, as your nervous system makes those connections, solidifies those connections better, it actually changes what happens in your head, neck, and shoulders. So unfortunately, I forgot to have you turn. Well, actually, I think you did turn a little bit at the beginning, did you not? So turn again and just see with the little bit that we've done if it actually feels the same or different from when you first sat down.
So just turning like this.
Just however, just as if maybe you're going to check behind you if you were in your vehicle. And just see if you notice any difference. And it might not necessarily be in your head, neck, and shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
It might be in another part of yourself. Do you have any awareness of other parts of yourself taking part in that rotation?
Mm-hmm. I do. I can feel it here, and I can feel it in my buttocks.
Okay, so do you remember if that was a feeling you had before or when we started, when you first turned?
No, it was more isolated.
Isolated. Okay, so even that tiny little bit that we've just done has started to make a difference.